Greetings! In this video we will create a curved brick. We can use this piece in any number of projects. For today's project we're going to use it as part of our robot's foot. We'll begin with a polygonal cylinder. We'll jump into the channel box inputs and we'll make it 24 subdivision axis. And then we'll rotate it 90 on the Z so that it's on its side. We'll jump into the side view. I'll hit the Q, the F. We'll right click and grab all the faces on the bottom, delete all the faces on the rear, and delete. And now we'll input our scale values. We want this to be 2/3 of the standard height. The standard height is 4.8, so this is going to be 3.2. And then our standard length is 8 units. And then we have 4 units wide, but because this is already 2 units, we'll just increase that by 2. And you can see that we have the standard 4x8 size. Next, we'll grab all of these diagonal edges and just hit the delete key. We don't have to hit delete edge vertex because we want to leave the vertexes behind. And we'll hit delete. Now we'll bridge these bottom parallel edges. We'll hit bridge. We'll shift select, and bridge. And we've got our basic shape. We're going to use the multi-cut tool with our snap step at 50. Make sure you've got 50 here. You'll recall that control key allows us to insert an edge, and the shift key will constrain us to the snap step, which is currently 50%. So we've got that right in the middle, and we'll put one on the back right in the middle. Now we'll connect these, so we'll click, drag, return. And if you look in the side view, you can see that that is straight up and down. So 4 unit, bisected the shape right in half, which is what we want. And we'll do the same on the other side. Click, drag, and we'll hit return. And now when we come and click, drag here, if I hold down just the shift key, that puts it at 50%. But 50% of this shorter length means that this isn't straight. So we'll engage our 90-degree angle. We'll hold down the shift key and the control key and click. Because we had an existing vertex, it gives us that dotted green line. We'll do that, which represents 90 degrees. We'll click, drag, shift control, right? We see that green dotted line, we click and we hit enter. And now we can delete this rear. Maybe you want to make the selection in the orthographic view. We can draw a bounding box around the faces and just check you've got the proper 4 faces because we're going to delete those. Now we'll grab these 2 edges and bridge. We'll grab these 2 edges and bridge, and you can see the shape there. Not a bad time to increment and save. We'll come and we'll flatten the front. We're going to grab these vertexes. Make sure you've got the vertex on both sides. And we can activate the Z constraint, and then we'll V middle mouse button snap this vertex. And if you look here, maybe we could do it here as well. So make that active and then V middle mouse button, and that snaps straight, and we've got the beginnings of our shape. We'll finish this topology in here. We're going to click, drag, and then come out to the front. Click, drag, and return. Take a look there. We'll do the same on the other side. Click, drag, and we'll hit return. Very good, and then we'll put one at 50%. So multi-cut, shift control, and then we'll click, drag, and to finish that off. Looks triangular, but you can see that it's 4 edges, a quad. And we'll click, drag, and we've got it. We'll hit return, and we've got that complete. We'll come to the rear, and we'll put an edge multi-cut, right? Control key, shift key, we'll click, drag to finish that, and click, drag to finish that. You certainly want to increment and save. Well, let's do one more thing. We'll put one right down the middle. So we need 4s on the bottom. And so we used our multi-cut and just control shift. So there's our shape. Good idea to hit the 3 key just to make sure there's no unwelded vertexes or no penetrating faces. And so that looks good. Good place to increment and save. And we can do a couple of 3 versions of this actually. We'll do one where we just bevel it with flat bottoms. In case you're using this piece where you won't see the bottom, it will be lighter. And then we can create one with a recess, and then one with a recess and the interior pipe, which will fit our peg. But let's first, we'll bevel this, and we go through the process of just getting all the corner edges, click, drag, shift click, I should say. We want across the front. We don't want to double click this because it'll go back here. We don't want those. So just shift selecting those two. We can double click this one though, and that gives us two at a time. And we'll get this edge, we'll double click, and there we go. That's all the edges. We can hit the 4 key and you can see that. We'll come and we'll hit bevel, and we'll make this point 2 and our segments 2. Now we've been left with an end-gon here. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but we'll just divide that right in half, and that will actually be good. We'll use the multi-cut. We'll click drag and then get in here nice and tight so you can see where you're dragging. Click drag, and we'll hit return, and now you can see, even though it's a small edge, it's still an edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do the same on the other side. Click drag, return, and we'll hit the Q key to get out of that tool, and we'll hit the 3 key, and you can see we've got real nice, clean topology in our smooth preview. So 1 key, 3 key, and you certainly want to save this one. This would be a, let's say, curved simple, and again, you can use this when the bottoms aren't available. So produce this, save it, and we'll be back in a second to create the undersides. Welcome back. We will create the bottom recesses. We'll grab these 4 faces on the back and the 4 faces on the front. Hit the 4 key just to make sure you didn't have anything selected on the other side, and we'll hit, let's go to the 1 mode as well, and we'll hit extrude. Our offset is going to be 0.5. We'll extrude a second time, extruding a second time, those same set of faces, and our local translate Z will be -1. Now we have to bevel these edges in order to make them sharp, but we've got existing bevels, so there's going to be a little bit of extra work to marry those two separate bevels together. But I think it will be interesting for you to see that process. So let's grab our edges for our bevels on these new recesses, and we'll come out and get those corners. So that's as far as we go, because this set of edges is already beveled. We'll do this again here. Shift double click, shift double click. We're doing that 4 times to get all the way around. The interior corners, the upper square, and then the 4 diagonals. So same exact selection, right? We're just selecting that new recessed extrusion up to the point where the existing bevel is. And we'll hit bevel, and we're going to leave it at 0.5, and we'll give ourselves an additional segment. So if we hit the 3 key, you can see that it maintains its sharpness, but we've got bad topology here. We've got some end-gons, and we will merge these together. Rather than doing it 8 times, let's just do half that. So we'll come and we'll delete, in the top view, we'll delete the half on the -x side. The default mirror is from positive to negative. So we'll delete that side. And rather than doing this procedure 8 times, we'll only have to do it 4. Let's get in here nice and tight. I'm going to just pick one of these vertices and hit the F key, and then we can zoom straight in. And then click off. We don't want to have any vertexes selected as we begin this process. And so we want to weld those, delete the central edge, and then weld across. So we're doing 3 welds. We'll come to target weld. Merge to center is our option. And just take a close look there. We're going to click, drag, and drop. Click, drag, and drop. And then we want to get rid of this central edge. And we'll hit delete. And then back to vertex. And then our target weld is already still selected. And then we'll click drag. And so now we've cleaned that topology. And we get a nice, if we hit the Q key and the 1 key and the 3 key, you can see we get nice topology there. And we'll just do this 3 more times. Good practice, we'll come to vertex, click off, make sure there are no vertexes selected. Target weld, click drag, right click the edge, select it, delete it. Target weld is selected, so we'll come back to vertex, click drag, and we have Q key, and then you can see we've got nice topology there. We'll come up to the next section and target weld, right click this diagonal edge, delete it, and then we'll target weld, come back to vertex and pull that one forward. And then the last one out here, target weld, click drag and drop, right click the edge, delete it, right click, drag and drop, and we've got a clean, we'll hit the Q key to get out of that tool, and we've got clean topology all the way around, including this complex transition here. And then we'll just mirror this over. We'll come with it selected in object mode, we'll come to mirror, and the mirror axis is X, mirror direction is negative. We'll click mirror, and then it's just good habit to come to the threshold and just type in 0.1. Although this is a clean model and you shouldn't have had any trouble, but just good habit to put 0.1 for the merge threshold unless the instructions call for another value. Okay, so save this one. This would kind of be our second generation. And in the next little section, we'll come in and we'll create the pipe interiors. Be right back. Welcome back. We're going to create the interior pipe shapes. We'll first extract these bottom faces just to make it a little bit easier to work. So I'm going to grab all 8 of those faces, hit the 4 key, make sure you didn't select anything on the other side, and we're going to come to Edit Mesh, Extract. And this will just separate whatever faces that you have selected. So we'll hit Extract, and if we right click now, we can see that we've got 3 separate meshes. They're under one heading, and it'll make it easier if we just can see these cleanly. So we're going to come to Edit, Delete All by Type History, and then we're going to ungroup that Polycylinder 1 transform node. So we'll come to Edit, Ungroup, and now we can see our 3 surfaces a little bit more easy. We'll grab that original shape and we'll put that on a layer and we'll hide that away. And now we've got these faces to work with. We'll create our pipe, create polyprimitive pipe, and in the inputs we'll make our subdivision axis 8, our thickness is 0.25, and then our X and Z are 1.3, and then our Y is 0.8. And this is the size to receive the peg. So that is the exact size for our brick pegs to fit on the underside. Now I want to put the pivot at the middle top. It's currently in the middle, but we want it on the top. So we'll tap the D key, we'll engage that Y translate, now we're locked on the Y translate, and we'll just snap. You can see we'll snap right to that vertex. We'll hold down the V key, middle mouse button with the move tool, and we'll just click and it snaps right there. And if you look in the orthographic side view, you can see that it's at the top. And I'll tap the D key to get out of that mode. And then we'll snap this 4 key, make it a little bit easier to see. We're going to snap, and we want to see in all 3 colors, all 3 directions. We'll hold down the V key, middle mouse button, and snap that right to the middle. And now if we hit the 6 key, that's where we want it, but we can see that these faces are penetrating, and we never want penetrating faces. So we'll come and use a Boolean function, and this will actually do 2 things. It will combine the shapes, and it will eliminate the overlapping faces. So we'll come to Mesh Boolean Union, and when we click that, we can see that those faces are eliminated, and the shape is now merged together. We've got ingons here, right, 6 side, and so we'll use our multi-cut, and we'll create that familiar topology that we've been using to create our pegs. Here we're using it to create our circular pipe. And we'll just click drag, and return when we're done. And we've got that. We can hit 3. We haven't beveled it yet, but you can see you've got a good shape going there. So let's do that. We'll bevel. We'll start with the interior. So shift double click, and we get all 4 pairs. 4 key just to see that that's a clean selection. We'll hit bevel, and our fraction is going to be 0.1, and then our segments 2. I'll just type in 0.1. And then the next three, we'll double click, shift double click, 4 key to see a clean selection. And we just got the corner edges, and we'll hit bevel, and we'll type it in. This is 0.2, and the segments are 2. And so we have a nice, clean, hard side, rounded, circular shape. Okay, now we want to duplicate this, and we can see that the pivot is way over here at the origin. So we'll tap the D key. We can see all three colors, right? So we're omni-snapping, and we'll just snap it right to the middle. You can see that vertex light up. So we'll hold the V key and then middle mouse button snap, tap the D key, and now we've got that pivot right in the middle. And we'll make a duplicate. So we'll come to Edit, Duplicate, and once again we'll move in all directions, and we'll snap it to this position. Hold down the V key and snap that up. And then we want to get rid of the face, let's see, that one. So that face that doesn't have the pipe, we just used it as a means of placement. So there's actually two faces in the same place. So we're going to delete that one. Let's also delete these transform nodes that got created, and you can see that this highlights magenta, indicating that there's a history relationship. So we're going to come to Edit, Delete All by Type History, and that automatically eliminated them. So we're back to our original. We've got our shape and we've got our interiors here, and we will just combine everything and weld it together. So we're going to say Modeling, Combine. Oops, I should have had both selected. Combine, and then we can grab, hit the 3 key just to see that there. That's working nicely. And we know that those vertexes aren't welded, so we'll draw a big bounding box, come to Edit Mesh, Merge, and we've got our shape. Hit the 3 key for the smooth preview, and we've got those recesses which will fit our brick pegs. Okay, stay tuned. We'll create the rear of the shoe, if you will, next. Be right back. Welcome back. I realized in the last section of the video I made a mistake. I made these pipes 0.8 and they should have been 1. And so they're short of meeting the bottom. So let's correct that. And we can do that real quick. We'll just pick the face, shift double click that face, shift more than, shift more than. We'll jump into the orthographic view, and we want to lower this. We don't want to do it by eye. We'll be precise. We'll tap the D key, and we're going to create a temporary pivot at the bottom of the selection. V key, middle mouse button. So this is just a temporary pivot position for that selection, and then we'll tap the D key to get out of that. And then, of course, now we can move it, and we'll snap it to the grid. So X key, middle mouse button, and we've got that there. We'll come over here. We don't have a grid to snap to, so we'll take a look at that in a moment. We'll shift select. Shift more than once, shift more than twice. Take a look in the side view. The pivot needs to be at the bottom, so we'll tap the D key, activate the Y, come back and V snap that there, tap the D key to get out. And now because we don't have a grid to snap to, we will snap to the vertex down at the bottom. So we'll hold the V key and middle mouse button, tap the D key, and now our pipes are reaching the bottom where they should have been. If you made them 1 in length, you could have skipped that, but I think that is informative in case you make a similar mistake with any of your other shapes. I'm going to bring the peg in. You can import your peg, and if your pivot isn't at the bottom, you can tap the D key and then V key, middle mouse button, tap the D key. And I wanted to just grid snap this over here so that you can see that this fits. If we hit the 3 key, this is fitting into that nicely. And we can create the appearance of our snappable bricks. Okay, I'm going to grid snap this to the center, and we'll hide our curved brick. If that's not already on a layer, you can add it there. And if your history is not deleted, you can delete all of your history before we proceed. We'll double click the outer edge, and we'll hit extrude, and we want that negative 1.6, the standard length of our 1/3. We'll come and we'll bridge these parallel edges. We need an edge running across here, so we'll use the multi-cut with a snap step of 50, and we'll say Shift Control. Now if you hit the 3 key, you can see that there are unmerged vertexes, so we'll grab all the vertexes, and let's do this in the 3 mode so you can see. We'll come to Edit Mesh, Merge, and now you've got a nice clean shape. We'll eventually bevel that. We'll come and let's bring back our original shape so we know we're going in the right direction. We'll position this, and we'll put the pivot at the bottom, tap the D key, V key, middle, oops, let's activate the Y, V key, middle mouse button, tap the D key. Then we can grid snap this up into position. Now there's some penetration because this one's beveled and this one isn't. Once we bevel the second one, they'll fit together nicely. And what we wanted to do was extrude backwards. So we'll come here and we'll hit extrude, and we want that 1 on the Z. We'll grab these faces and we'll extrude, and we want this 1.6 on the local Z. And so that completes that shape there. We'll come and let's create our bottom interior. Let's make sure we didn't that we've only got these selected, and we'll hit extrude, and we'll make the offset 0.5. Oops, I'll just type that in, 0.5, and then we're going to extrude a second time, and we'll make this -1. And so that's the same recess as before, and we can even copy this pipe over and merge that in. Let's return to the top that we just extruded. We're going to hit extrude, and let's give ourselves an offset here. We'll pull that down, and then we'll just scale this in. And if we wanted to, I'm going to click off and click back and reselect those, and just use my standard scale tool. A little bit easier to see here. Okay, now we'll hit extrude one more time, and we'll pull that up, and we'll create the sphere that we'll use for our ball joint. We're going to create the sphere. We'll grid snap it up. Take a look at where that is. We're going to rotate it towards us so that the poles are facing side to side. And then we're going to move that back half a unit on the Z. And I think that's -0.5. Yep. So we'll move that back. And then in the inputs, we're going to change the subdivisions to 10 and 10. And we'll make this an 18 on the Y so that it's facing straight down. Now we did 10 and 10 because we'll eventually subdivide this and it will go back to being 20 and 20. Let's delete those faces. Oops, I'll reselect these. Let's click off and reselect these to Q key. We'll hit delete, and then we'll grab these bottom faces here. Take a look at that. We'll hit delete, and we can now combine the two pieces. We'll come and we'll hit combine, and then let's bridge. We can double click, shift double click, and we'll hit bridge, and there is our ball joint that will serve as our ankle. And now we're ready to bevel all the way around. Let's hide the curved shape, and we'll go through the process of making the selection. So we're selecting around. We've got this edge, and I didn't want to double click that because sorry, we don't want to double click. So shift click. Double clicking ran that up there. So we're getting those four corners just by shift clicking. Let's not double click. And then that means we have to shift click, shift click, shift click. We can double click there to go all the way around. Shift double click, we'll get the diagonals. This should be pretty familiar to you. Now we've got to go across here and take a look at that. We'll get the interior corners. Shift double click, shift double click, shift double click. And we want these corners double click, that went all the way around, and because we're coming around here, we're going to select those as well. So quite a selection, lots of the corner edges. I believe that's it. And if we missed one or made a bad selection, we'll just hit undo and try it again. And we can come to segments 2, and we'll leave the fraction at 5, and that looks like a good set of selections. And so there is our piece. You could bevel here if you wanted. I think instead of beveling, because that is such a tight area, let's just put a loop right about there, and that will help that transition. You may have liked it the other way, but that looks pretty good. Okay, and then we'll hit the Q key, and if you want to save that, and then we'll come back and we'll create the, we'll make a duplicate. We'll make a couple of duplicates of those pipes and we'll insert those there. Be back in a second. Okay, welcome back. Let's bring our curved brick. Let's clean up our outliner. We'll come and delete all of our history. So we're just left with the two shapes. You should probably name those there. And we've already got this pipe. You could do that again from scratch, but we can actually duplicate this one. So I'm going to duplicate that whole shape. We'll come to Edit, Duplicate, and I'm just going to slide this back. And let's get into the one mode, and we'll detach this. So I'm going to double click the edge. Note the edge. We want the interior edge. We don't want any parts of the bevel, since the shape we're connecting to already has the bevel. So we've got that around. You can take a look there in the wireframe. And then we'll come to Edit Mesh, Detach. So when we're detaching along a closed edge. We'll hit Detach, switch to Object Mode, and then we'll come to Modeling, and then hit Separate. And so now this is separate from the rest along that border edge. We can see that there much quicker than creating that again, I think. We'll duplicate it. Now the pivot is way out of the way. In fact, let me delete that duplicate. Let's first put the pivot where we want it. So we'll tap the D key, click it in the middle to make sure you see all the colors. V key, middle mouse button, and then D key again. Now we'll duplicate it. Edit, Duplicate, and we'll slide this one. And we're going to use this on the rear. This is a little bit aesthetic, but maybe you would want to plug something into the rear of this shape. Let's plug this one in. We want to get rid of this set of faces. We'll hit delete, and our values may be a little bit different, so we might have to scale that a little bit to fit. But let's get that right in the middle. We'll hit the 4 key, and we are, let's see, yeah, right there. So we just grid snapped, because that was on the grid, we've grid snapped it right there. Kind of hard to see with all those wireframes, but take a look here. Here is the grid. We grid snapped it, and it's sitting right there. And actually, we've got a nice gap, so that'll be opportune. We will hit Combine, and then we're going to go around with Target Weld. Because they're so far apart, we can't use Merge. We'd have to turn up to the Merge threshold, and then there are lots of vertexes that are probably even closer than that. So this might be a little challenging, but you can just zoom in there nice and tight, and we're just welding this in. If you wanted to create the pipe from scratch and practice that technique, you could. If you didn't want to do it this way, or maybe a combination of both. So that is now welded in. You can hit the 3 key to see that that's a nice weld. And now we've got a bottom recess on that shape. And let's do the same on the back. We'll grab these faces. Well, actually, let's snap it in place first, why we've got that intersection. So our pivot is in the middle. We'll turn on our wireframe, and then I'm just going to V-snap it. Oops, let's see. We'll click there and nope, sorry, we want to see all the colors. And let's get it a little bit closer. So I want all of the colors, green, red, and blue, and we'll V-snap, and now we've got it. And now we'll delete these faces, right? We'll hit the 4 key, make sure you didn't select anything on the other side. We'll hit delete, come back to 6, And we'll just do that again. Object mode. Let's click onto object mode and we'll get both of them. We'll hit combine and we'll just do that again with the target weld. We don't need to bridge because we don't need extra geometry. We'll just match these and make sure you're getting the right vertexes. If you don't, just hit undo and there it is. We'll hit the 3 key to make sure and we'll come out into object mode and there we have it. We've got our 2 shapes that we've married together or plugged in together to look like a foot for our robot character. And then finally, so that we've got all quads, we can delete every other edge. And that will give us 4, and we'll do the same here. Deleting every other edge, just hitting delete, and we've got a nice couple of quadded shapes with good topology. Okay, questions in the discussion forum. Have a good one.